Hey, if I missed your super chat,
This is your boy Tug. What a terrifying, terrifying mask that is. But he looks like he's having himself a good old time. So I saw this guy just cruising around having a good old time, not hurting anyone, and went to Renfamous's page to see what she would have to say about this terrifying looking but perfectly harmless guy. And it was about what I expected. This is Renfamous, White Whale, Holy Grail. Houston people, I'm declaring a Chud Haters Ball meetup, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. It is nonstop spurging out at Anime Matsuri. Lisa Lou says, I was a guest at Anime Matsuri last year and canceled the week before the con due to blatant sexism, favoritism towards more famous cosplay guests, and lack of respect for cosplay competition rules and fairness. Believe victims before you have to be treated poorly yourself. If you run a con and have been accused of being a sexual predator, it doesn't help your case when you hire multiple male guests who have also been sexual predators. Key word is accused. Accused. And why does it matter that they're male or female? I don't know. Beth of the Elder Kin, if I remember right, she is completely insane. Sounds like Anime Matsuri is going just about as well as can be expected. Anime Matsuri highlights, I've been hearing horrible translators asking inane questions. Is that a complaint? I mean, if that's your strongest foot forward, you don't have much to whine about. Comics geek guy selling prints of himself, killing a girl on the internet he doesn't like. Press F to doubt. I'm gonna need to see some photographs of that. Killing a girl on the internet he doesn't like. Blackface lawyer who's buddies with Vic got his own panel at an anime convention. So what's the problem with that? If you don't like the panel, just don't go. Anime Matsuri sounds like a disaster as expected. Dumpy Con can't handle the level of guests that somehow we're able to get, and the result is panels with basically no interpreter. Just someone lying and making stuff up to the point where even the guests realize something's wrong. Are you there? I don't, okay. So they have, I don't know, some signs that, where they're having some problems at some let me tell you something, all cons have some issues, but from what I can tell from watching his video, there's plenty of people at the con and they're all having a good time, so it doesn't look like a disaster to me. This has got to be the most embarrassing thing an anime convention has ever pulled. An anti-SJW panel with guys who don't know stuff about anime or the industry, and two of them are lawyers who, as it turns out, don't even know the law. What law are they misinterpreting? None of this makes sense. This is just people whining just to hear themselves whine. It's from... Look at this. I love this guy. This guy is having a fun time. He's not hurting anyone. He's not putting anyone down. He's not a threat. And these people on Twitter just want to destroy him. Okay, so for some reason, Renfamous really has a bee in her bonnet. Hey, Law Twitter, do you sign headshots at anime cons like Vic's lawyer Tiberius does? What? I don't know why he's signing headshots. I like Tiberius a lot, but I don't know why anyone would want a photograph of him. Just maybe for the hell of it. I swear to God, if I saw my lawyer signing autographs at an anime convention, I would question every single choice I made in life leading up to that minute. It just shows he's popular. I don't know why you'd want a picture of him, but if he wants to sign autographs, that doesn't violate any of the rules of professional responsibility in any state. It's not a conflict of interest. It's not an issue whatsoever. Period. Man, she is just going off. Ty Beer taking Vic's sexual harassment case was like Taco Bell buying a billboard outside a dispensary. What? I don't understand. I don't think you even understand. Replies to tweets supporting Vic are a master class in people who don't understand or care about consent. Here's the thing about false accusations and defamation and tortious interference and all these issues that are that Vic is dealing with. It is so easy to destroy someone's reputation with a false accusation. That's why there's the concept of due process and facts and evidence. You have to prove your accusation. That's what the Bill of Rights is for. The whole thing about facing the right to face your accusers, to present evidence, to challenge evidence, to cross-examine adverse witnesses, to cross-examine evidence, to have a fair hearing. The whole concept of the Fifth and Sixth Amendment. But these people believe that the accusation is the proof. It's not. This is just nonsense. She just goes on and on and on. This was last year's AM. So having racist, misogynist, homophobic, transphobic YouTubers and lawyers host panels is very on brand for them. The Nazi cosplay that Anime Matsuri tolerated until someone noticed. It wasn't that long ago that Nazi costumes weren't unknown in cosplay. Or whether part of Indiana Jones troop or backing up the resolution. Yeah, so what? What's the big deal? It's a costume. How embarrassing. It's a costume. It's not, don't get your panties in a bunch. It's a costume from World War II. Would you have a problem with an English costume, a Russian costume, a Italian costume, Japanese costume? The German army wasn't uniquely bad. If you want to know about monsters, take a look at the Japanese army. Okay, this is Trinity Reloads speaking to the teenage girl. Tug is apparently fine with the exploitation of minors as long as it's being done by someone who gives McCon table. Whoa, that is a hell of a straw man. You need to, do I want to read this? Every test become disgusting. I understand there are serious allegations, but I wouldn't make something like this up. Well, people do make things up. That's why we have due process. I respect what you're telling me. There's a problem I have about this. You should have said to him that you were uncomfortable and to stop. Yes. If you're uncomfortable with something, you have to tell people to stop. People can't read your minds, unfortunately. Pretend to care about children being sexually exploited. Praises a woman who told a teenage girl groped by her husband that she should have told him to stop 35 minutes apart. Nothing these a-holes say is genuine. They'll say anything for a buck. You don't know what they said. You don't know what the conversation was. Unless you were a fly on the wall. Oh, and then Mr. Eigel chimes in. He is a legitimately low IQ individual. The fact that he imagines himself as V fighting against the cruel proletariat state that is the comics community is laughable. No one gives an S. No one cares. Obviously, people care because you people are nonstop freaking out on Twitter. Obviously, you care, Eigel. There's one real solid rule when it comes to working in comics. Don't be an a-hole. You fail that. That's on you. Aren't you being an a-hole? He wants so badly to believe there's some oppressed class of creator persecuted for their political beliefs, but anyone looking in from the outside can see exactly what he and his buddies all have in common, and it's not a thing to do with politics. Yeah, it has a lot to do with politics. Tug is probably a moderate, maybe right of center, and a lot of other people are moderates or right of centers, and they are not welcome in the comics industry. You know it. I know it. Even low IQ Eigel knows it. I mean, being a misogynist, racist, bigoted a-hole, like, it's political. Being that it's a worldview that informs decisions, choices, lifestyles, etc., especially of a political, it's just, wrong. Okay, soy boy. Yeah. Oh, Ramses. And then this is weird. They start making fun of your boy Tug. They start making fun of his physical appearance, his weight, and his age. Now, here's the thing: do you accept that the principles of making basically it's an ad hominem attack, making some fun of someone's appearance or their age, it should be unacceptable. Why is it acceptable when you do it? Dude is legit wheezing around the George R. Brown in cargo shorts, calling me fat and doing practice runs for how he's totally going to own me if I show up at the con down the street from my house. They've evolved their self-parody now. She is totally thinking about going to this con. If it is down by close to her house, she should go. She'll probably have a lot of fun. Tug seems pretty comfortable wearing a mask. Must be all the weekends spent wearing a hood. Oh, that's just childish. And it's pretty serious defamation, too. It's funny because the people who used to wear hoods were the Kathleen Kennedy Club, and the modern people wearing hoods are Antifa. So, and oddly enough, they're both Democrats. Why is he wearing a Jason mask? Because he's having a fun time. Is that concept totally? Oh look, they're having a panel. Ty Beard, Nick Rekieta, Tug, and what's his face? Hero Hay. They're having fun. What? How is this a problem for you guys? Looks like he put a pizza in the mask and he sounds like he's eating his way through it. My 1-year-old nephew acts more adult than any 5 Comicsgate chuckle Fs. This is the best Comicsgate can come up with. Tug's a pretty funny guy. I don't see what the issue is. No, he's not terrified. I want my comics like I remember them as a child. Dude, you are still an effing child. You just got bigger. I want my comics like I remember them as a child. Well, if you want to go online, you can find comics from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And you can easily, and within an hour, you'll find the difference between modern comics and comics, say from the 80s. They were less political. They just told good stories. If they had to touch on politics, they tried to present as even-handed an approach as possible, and they touched very, very lightly on it. These people are just going. He'll probably just say it to the first blue-haired person he finds and run the hell away. They are notorious cowards and scared of women, so this would not surprise me. Trash King. Oh, I gotta take a look at you, buddy. No one in Comicsgate is scared of... Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, my God. I like your hair, though. That looks pretty cool. No one is scared of women. Most people are married. They have kids. Some have multiple ex-wives. Nobody is scared of women. That is... I don't know why you people... You think... I get, you know what it is? It might be some projection. 400 followers and 500... dude, you should not post this photograph if you look like this. I mean, yeah, just, you should probably use an icon. They go on and on and on. What exactly are they so mad about this guy for? He has a YouTube channel where he defends Vic. He believes that due process should apply. And for some reason, they are terrified with due process. It's like they're also terrified of the concept of free speech because they know their ideas can't be defended. His face is fatter than cabbage. Douchiest facial hair. He's just some guy. He's not Stalin. Damn. His sweat and wheezing. So they're making fun of his appearance from people that could also probably stand to lose a few pounds. I was worried that an umbrella guy would try to show up at the convention near me, but it sounds like he can barely make it 5 feet from his booth. Why is it acceptable to make fun of his weight and appearance? It sounds like he needs a gravy intervention. Bullies are cowards? How is he a bully? No one is scared of Renfamous. The only things they're scared of is being swatted and doxxed. The people like Renfamous, her friends, her crowd, are responsible for the doxing and swatting of Peter Simeti and Edwin Boyette. So yes, these people, these SGWs won't hurt you themselves because most of them are high school kids. They will try to use the state to have you killed. Report him to con security for what? He's just walking around having a good time. Fat guy calling fat woman fat online. File under That's So Comicsgate. Blows my mind when it turns up these are fully grown men and then some adult men with families and everything, and not just kids at shit posting and trolling. Gail Simone would be a lot prettier if she didn't eat so much. Yes, Gail Simone is a let's see, this probably a bunch of, I don't know who these people are. The Flash. Kick Ren since 18. Yeah, I don't know who these people are. But yes, most middle-aged people have got a few pounds to lose, so it's not quite. I mean, most people are fat. It's not in first world and second world nations. It's not that big a deal. I don't know if you call Renfamous. Here's the thing with Renfamous. She's, as far as I can tell, is a good-looking young lady. I guess what happened was she went on, she went on the YouTube show to be interviewed by that English guy, that Australian guy, and I guess she had gained like a couple of pounds. So people are jokingly calling her fat because she gained like 5 pounds. She's still a very good-looking young lady, and it's just petty to call her, fat or unattractive. She's attractive. She just has a personality that is reprehensible because she doesn't respect due process. Though, if her side, anyone on her side, her friends, her family, her husband, her kids, needed the protections of due process, she would change her tune very, very quickly. And I think what I respect more about the Comicsgate side of people is that they do respect due process and they know that it applies to everyone. Anyway, the rest of you should take my words very seriously, though, and give me money for them. I'm sure little Miss Lauren Cooper has a Patreon account, and she's probably making several $1,000s a month from people on her side who are, I don't know, probably just hoping to get a sniff of her underwear. She just goes on and on about this guy. This is creepy. And then complained about anime Matsuri. That doesn't apply to him. The judge orders me to take off my anonymous mask, and I'm wearing the Joker makeup underneath it. Everyone in the courtroom groans. Okay, that's not about Tug, though. Tug's just having a good time. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's having fun. What's not to like about this guy? This is bizarre. Renfamous is not a nice person. 14 hours ago, she's still going off in this guy. Ideology, mission creep within companies and fan communities. Hope for lively discussion, debate of specific instances from different perspectives. What I was a circle jerk of anti-SGW Gamergates. Then why would you go to the panel? This con is such a hilarious S show. Help needed sign. Not all cons run perfectly smoothly. This isn't completely unknown. Anime Matsuri will literally give anyone a panel. Check their schedule. They have basically no panels because none of the regular panelists from the local con scene are willing to show up and host them. They gave him, BFL, and the Beard a panel. Yeah, and people went and checked him out. So I'm not quite sure what your that's a little on. Oh, because that's Renfamous. That's like so stupid. He, him, they, them, they, them, malice. That's supposed to be Renfamous, the sperm whale. They're joking around, Renfamous. You're attractive. They're just joking. Most people say it's fine. Occasionally, some people don't want to be touched, and it's totally cool. Come up with a new pose together. Assuming you can put your hands on someone else in any situation is shitty. If you pose for a photograph with someone, most likely, here's how it works. The bigger person will usually put their arm around you, just because of the architecture of two human bodies. It's not if you say, "Hey, can I get a photograph with you?" and that person puts their arm around you, and you have a problem with that, then you probably shouldn't be going out in public. I mean, if someone's slapping your butt, that's one thing. But if someone's just putting their arm around you, I think you probably need some help. Her posing, I asked permission to touch the shoulder every single time. If you're posing and you ask permission to touch someone's shoulder, no. I mean, I can't knock you. That is courtesy and it's nice, but most people who are out in public are comfortable enough when they pose for a photograph with somebody to be touched on their shoulder or on their arm or on their back. This is just kind of weird. People aren't, I hate to, they're not so terrified of being touched like you seem to believe. Nothing screams Vic's innocent like his supporters mocking the concept of asking permission before putting your hands on another person. Both of us gave consent in the picture. Look who's at the anime con to support Vic. I don't know who that guy is. Oh, I mean, I know who Nick Ricade is. I don't know who the other guy is. Oh, Tim S. Anime Matsuri. With the man. Yeah, people are having a good time. The hand on the shoulder. The hand on the shoulder is just the person with, if you think about it, the person with the longer arm puts their arm around the person with the shorter arm simply because the longer arm person can reach. I'm usually that person. If someone wants a photograph with me, I'll put my arm around them. I mean, if you're so terrified of being touched, then why did you come up and ask for a photograph? Next time one of these Comicsgate knuckle Rards tries to rip on a photo of a comic pro at a show, we'll be sure to remind them of time one of their YouTube daddies went all out and ended up with the Jeb Bush please clap of con tables. All right, that's pretty funny, but this isn't an okay table. I guess his kid made it for him, or his wife and kid made it for him. I don't see how this is such a problem. Looks okay to me. And keep in mind, the umbrella guy is an obvious amateur. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's good-hearted. He's having fun. He's having a good time. You can't expect him to know everything about how to put together, get in focus, how to put together a perfect con table. But again, this looks fine to me. I don't see what the problem is. And then people who say they don't care about him at all are just non-stop diving into this. How much was an Artist Alley style booth at this con? Probably about $500. He's probably selling prints between $10 to $20. I think they're $10. His base price is $20, so to cover the $500, he has to sell $25 to the. I don't see how the anime market ideal for his booth. He said himself he did about 300 in sales Friday and spent $4,000 on the trip. I'm guessing he spent significantly more since arriving at the con on food and souvenirs. 4K, so he doesn't live close to the con, and if you're a vendor at a con, bring a cooler and your own food, so obviously he's never been to a con before. Okay, he's been to a con, I've been to a con, everyone's been to cons, but he's at a con as a, he's not a what do you call it, just someone walking around. He's selling. He's a vendor now. He's not a vendee, I guess. So it's a whole different perspective. And this is probably his first time at a con selling things. So can you forgive him if he doesn't do everything perfectly? Ren says he lives in Tennessee and flew to Houston to attend my local con support Vic. Can you imagine the meltdown if I flew across the country to attend a con near where he lives? No, it wouldn't be a problem at all, Ren. You can fly anywhere and attend any con you wish. It's not a problem. But seriously, this just to support Vic, who we didn't really know anything about. This is crazy, stupid, nice to have $4,000 to waste on a sad voice actor. It's part of Tug's business. He has a business of YouTube. He's probably making quite a bit of money on YouTube, where he's obviously making enough money on YouTube to be able to use this as a business trip, a business expenditure. I don't know if he'll make that $4,000 back, but even if he didn't sell anything and just blew through the $4,000, he would make that in a few days in super chats on YouTube. It's not that much money. And even if he wasn't on YouTube, he's a smart, capable guy. He's got a job doing something. It's not that much money. Do you know the saddest thing? Just judging by these portraits, he's not a terrible artist. There's legit potential there, but he's also completely amoral. How? You're making these bizarre claims. And he didn't draw any of that. Yeah, it's commissioned work or fan art. He's the writer. Is he just a so-called writer? Yeah, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with being a writer, right? Without the writer, you don't have a story. That's not meant to crap on all writers. I only use right. Yeah, it was. You were trying to crap on all. Why does he wear the mask? Because you sociopaths will dox him and harass him, try to get him fired. You'll attack his wife. You'll attack his child. Because you people are completely insane. He covered one arm in duct tape, covering the tattoos, and a glove on one hand, because that's what normal people do. Yes, because you people are very, very dangerous. You already tried to kill 2 people, Edwin Boyette and Peter Samedi. No one cares enough to know him. That's the funny part. He's a raging paranoiac for no reason whatsoever. He was a lower T comic skater that jumped on the Vic train, so he can ride that until the inevitable crash. He had a small channel at first, and it did blow up. But he provides quality content. There's nothing low tier about him. He's a very entertaining guy. And how do you know so much about him? God, this is bizarre. I watch his channel on and off, and I don't know this much about him. How creepy and bizarre. Okay, and they're saying no one cares enough to know him, but you guys have been tweeting about this nonstop for days. You can't criticize it. My wife and daughter made it. How condescending is that? It's shitty, but my wife made it. Ladies, right? He's not saying that. You're saying that. You people are sick. Oh, man, I wonder if he's selling that duct tape. He'd be a fool not to. It's the most marketable thing on his table. Okay, let's take a look at you. I'm sure you are just a piece. Oh. Oh, man. That is a 5 head. I like your glasses, though. They kind of look camouflage or something. Come on, dude. Don't. You shouldn't be insulting anyone. Nice thing in the background. Writes the Little Depressed Boy for Image Comics. They also color, play, synthesize, and collect vinyl. They, them. All right, fair enough. And his first tweet is something about Trump. Nobody cares about Trump, dude. Just try to sell your comics. You're probably not selling that many comics if you only have 1,000 subs. If he is so unimportant, why are you people just non-stop? This is creepy. Matt Miner, I covered you a couple weeks ago, and you are a piece of work your own self. I've seen better tables selling zines, but I've seen better zines. You want to take a look at that umbrella, the littlest umbrella on Indiegogo? For a YouTuber who not many people know of, his book is killing it. Take a look and compare the littlest umbrella compared to Renfamous's Deadbeats. Renfamous has 40 people, 5 people working on Deadbeats, and the littlest umbrella, which has Tug and an artist working on it, I think it's doubled the sales. Does he have a comic out or something? Yeah, the littlest umbrella, and it's doing amazing. You people, you're obsessed with this guy simply because, one, he defends Vic, and he, I guess, allegedly criticized Renfamous. But again, if he called Renfamous a whale or made fun of her weight, I'm going to need to see some evidence of that. Nobody cares about him. Yes, you people do care about him. Look at this. This is bizarre. And those aren't earmuffs. Those are, I don't think there's earmuffs. Those are probably to hear because he's doing a live video. Wow. This is nuts. Who would want to be near him? At least now we know the main difference between Tug and the Tug in his art is that the one people draw has a waist. So they're making fun of his appearance, because Tug is, he's probably a 40-year-old guy who is Wow, nice car. Mustang too, I think. Oh, a little dog in it. Who's probably a 40-year-old guy who's, I don't know, 6'7". He's a couple pounds overweight. But let me clue you into something, Mr. Edgy Boy Tryhard. Oh, dude. Most people in their 40s, yourself included, are overweight. That's what happens when you live in a first and a second world country. Believe it or not, Mexico also has an obesity problem. Good taste in music, though. Mr. Ace of Spades, or didn't they also have a song? I like the young stuff. Him, professional Linux guy. All right, you sound like a cool dude. Actually, I don't know why you're. I've seen dudes choose to die on some dubious hills, but I'm not sure the nationalists were wrong to burn those books. May take the cake. I won't even get into that, but I think they were burning degenerate books. Anyway, you're making fun of Tug because he's, I don't know, 40 pounds overweight. He's a 40-year-old guy. Most 40-year-old guys are 40 pounds overweight, yourself included. So I don't understand how you're calling someone fat. Matt Miner comes in again. God, these people are nuts. Nuts. You just bizarre. I think more professional meth dealers. Stay away from meth. And he's not even at his table. He's having fun walking around. He doesn't need to be at his table. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He obviously has no idea what he's doing. Someone said, like, hey, you should have a GoPro because you could strap it to your head and get a wide-angle GoPro. And, yeah, this is his first time doing it. So next time he'll have a GoPro and he'll be professional. This is obviously, look at this. He doesn't, obviously not professional. But it doesn't matter because we all like the guy because he's having fun. Christopher Sabala chimes in. Tug reveal and now blackface lawyer busted under a sock puppet account to white knight for himself. What a day. When you forgot to switch out of your sock puppet account before tweeting in the first person. Well, Greg doesn't set the bar very high if you think he's a good lawyer as lawyers go, but the way Nick has been very rarely wrong on live streams when covering the law. In fact, he's only done it once and he admitted his mistake to the audience. Greg Doucette. I covered him a few days ago. He's also an interesting character. White Whale, Modesty, Duct Tape. Yeah, he has to hide his tattoos because you nut jobs will dox him, get him fired. I got to plan something cool for 10K followers. The only reason you have 10K followers is because you're anti-Comicsgate and you're a good-looking younger woman. That's it. Most cosplayers, well, I mean, before you were anti-Comicsgate, you were, you said something about you wanted to take fire hoses to the gays. Some weird, creepy stuff. I suspect she has some serious issues behind her. But then she decided to be far left, and now she doesn't want to take fire hoses to the gays. So before she was on this Comicsgate trip, she had 500 followers. And then when she went nuts, anti-Comicsgate, I gave up bullying jerk off pudgy middle-aged dads on the internet as my New Year's resolution, but Comicsgate keeps tricking me into breaking it. Why are you making fun of his appearance? And before you ask, yes, he's covered his entire arm in duct tape, presumably to keep the government from reading his mind and stealing his fluids. Anyway, everyone meet that umbrella guy. Tug is the alt-light YouTuber. Okay, if you're alt-light, what does that make you, a conservative? That just makes you a plain Jane conservative who spent the last year calling me a whale. I don't think he called you a whale. I think War Campaign might have jokingly called you a whale. Obviously, you're not that fat. It's not much of it. It's only an insult if you're actually fat. If they call Gail Simone a whale, yes, it's an insult because Gail Simone is grossly, morbidly obese. I mean, I'm not trying to insult it. It's kind of more of a description. A lot of people are also obese. It's not that big a deal. But Renfamous is not morbidly obese. She gained a couple of pounds. So if they call you a whale, that should wash right off your back. It shouldn't hurt you because you're clearly not. And who this weekend flew to a con very close to my house? Tug doesn't know anything about you. He doesn't care about you. He's not trying to go to a con close to your house. He's going because Vic was there. To sell prints depicting me as Moby Dick and himself as Captain Ahab. I don't think he read the book. I read that book actually once every few years. It's weird. It's one of those books that for some reason I just pick up every few years. So here's a pic of him with Hiro Hey. So he's 6'7". This guy must be like 6'5" or something, really tall. And there's 113 comments on this. Wow, I'm already 35 minutes into it. Maybe I'll make another video reading these comments. It's absolutely nuts. So he's got to conceal his identity. He's got to cover up his tattoos. And he's got a tattoo on his hand, and that is a good point. He's got an umbrella cord tattoo on his hand. If we all know you have it, you don't actually need to cover it up. So I don't know why he's doing that. But he's just having a good time. And these people want him homeless on the street. They want to destroy him. Look at this. He's just a good old guy. Anyway, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and leave a like and a comment.